Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm reviewing a new movie that has come out in theaters, finally! Christopher Nolan's film Tenet has opened up across several theaters in the United States, and to be honest, not a huge fan here. Before I start breaking it down, I will let you know this is going to be completely spoiler-free, so don't worry, I'm not going to give away any big secrets of the movie. I'm starting to wonder if Nolan's best work is behind us. I think maybe he peaked with Dark Knight and Inception, because since then we've had a lot of films that have been like hit or miss. Interstellar, not very good. Dunkirk, I think the reason that got so much positive buzz was because it was a World War II drama and it was nominated for an Academy Award. But other than that, the characters within that film were not super engaging. And if it wasn't for the fact that it was a period drama, I don't think it would have had the success that it did. And then now we have Tenet, which to me was a little lackluster. But before I get going on the bad stuff, let's start with some good. Cinematography, brilliant. I mean, Nolan knows how to capture a beautiful shot and continues to do so here. You can't argue with that. Also, the special effects are super rad. Basically, because the concept of the film is that items or people can move backwards through time. This is evident in the trailers that I'm sure many of you have seen. It allows for some really cool special effects. So we're seeing explosions happen backwards, and that's a lot of fun. The music is okay for the most part. It's composed by that Ludwig guy who's like the biggest new composer in Hollywood. He worked on Black Panther, won the Academy Award for that, and then has also been doing the music for The Mandalorian. Perhaps if you're a big Star Wars nut like me, by the way, I hope that you enjoy that I'm practically on the forest of Endor here. Yeah, so anyway, there's a lot of cool behind-the-scenes stuff with Ludwig, the composer, on Disney Plus if you're interested in checking out his work. But here, he's mostly fine. He does kind of fall into the same pattern that Hans Zimmer fell into with a lot of the Nolan stuff, where there's this loud, sustained buzzing. You might remember the internet joke with the Interstellar movie was that, did Hans Zimmer just fall asleep on his pipe organ? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. And we kind of are dealing with that too here at a lot of moments. The fight scenes, for the most part, are entertaining. For me, with an action movie, if I'm not connected to the characters that are involved in the fight scenes, I check out and become really bored. So as you know, Nolan likes to keep his audiences relatively in the dark, right? And give them a little bit of information here and there as the full story kind of comes into shape by the end of the film. Well, the problem I see him running into with Tenet is there's not enough breadcrumbs given to the audience to keep us fully engaged with the story. And there really isn't a big reveal at the end of the movie. Instead of like one big realization, I think he expects us to slowly be putting it together. But the problem is these crumbs are so small that we never fully get satisfied. We leave the movie theater hungry because we didn't get enough to eat. And Nolan's always been a more plot-driven director than a character-driven director and writer, but here it's like the characters completely disappear behind this labyrinth of a story. And the characters literally have lines like, it's a paradox, there's no answer, or don't question it, just feel it, or stuff like that. So this premise of like items moving backwards through time and then people moving backward through time simultaneous to other people moving forward through time is so mind-boggling to begin with. And then when you have lines like, don't question it, there's no answer to it, you're just kind of left feeling like, well, okay, I guess I'm just gonna be dragged along through this entire process. And I know some people will like it. The Nolan loyalists will fight tooth and nail to defend this movie, I'm sure, and that's great. But I really think that it's reserved for those who are interested in like the deepest parts of science fiction. But it's not a fun movie, really. I mean, it might be entertaining to some to try to figure out the mystery, but it's not a popcorn flick. You're not going to just kind of check out and escape your world for a while. You have to be paying an insane amount of attention, and even when you are, a lot of the dialogue is hard to understand. I don't know if that's because I'm old or I'm used to reading subtitles at home while I'm watching Netflix, but there were so many times where I'm like, I didn't catch that word. Oh, that could have been really helpful if I knew what they were saying here. So because of that, it's just really impossible to track for the most part. I'm reminded, I kept thinking of this line from Shakespeare's Macbeth, where he says, it's full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. So yeah, it's like a lot of these big events are happening, but because you have no connection to it, it just becomes a real chore to watch after a while. And the cast is fine. John David Washington is the guy who plays the lead, whose character's name is actually the protagonist, which is interesting. And Robert Pattinson, also fine, but it's hard to critique their work because they're really not given the opportunity to shine that much given what's on the script. Because the script, the plot, is so much more important in this movie than the actual characters and their dynamics and relationships to one another. Kenneth Branagh actually might have been my favorite in the film. He plays the bad guy and does a really good Russian accent, at least in my opinion. Of course, accents and dialects was my worst subject in acting school, so I'm not a great judge of that, and I am easily impressed by people who can like remotely get close to an accent. And to see Kenneth Branagh do that, I was like, wow, good job, dude. As far as like Nolan's future goes, will mainstream audiences continue to show up for his films? I think he should get away from the non-linear storytelling, and I know that he's obsessed with the concept of time. We've seen that time and time again with Inception and Dunkirk, Memento, which was his first breakout film, and we're seeing it here again. So I want to see him do something new, because a lot of this seems like stuff that we've seen before, and it's just getting more and more repetitive. Yeah, so that's about it. Those are my thoughts for Tenet. Let me know what you think. Am I completely off base here? Is this his most brilliant piece of work ever? Comment below, like this video, subscribe to my channel. Try to stay away from spoilers though if you're chatting below, at least for the next 3 or 4 weeks while people get a chance to see it for themselves. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.